So what I was, like, we've been talking about this, is it time now for one world cinema? Like, how does a person who wants to tell a story, but gather the knowledge to understand the global watcher, like the global consumer? You know what I'm trying to get at? Like,
I do, but I don't.
Like Crouching Tiger, a film from China. And,
yeah, but I don't think it started with. I don't think it starts with them thinking externally of what will make it a world cinema. It comes about from wherever country you're in, good movie making, which is usually about something personal to your country, and then realizing that it has an international message to it. It's a little different here in India than most other places because you have such an extraordinarily large film industry. You make so many movies. You're the largest country in the world, 1,400,000,000 people. So the need or the desire to go outside of your country isn't there as much as other countries. You have those movies are being the latest, which was a big hit here, and also won around the world. But it's different, like in the States, for instance, with the movies we make, I was thinking how many directors I've worked with that were foreign, whether it was Ridley Scott, English, we did Black Rain together, whether it was Paul Verhoeven, who's Dutch, we did Basic Instinct together, or I produced a movie called Face Off.
you produced that?
Yeah, I produced Face Off. That was with John Woo. John Woo's the director, Chinese director, right? So what happens in the States is directors from other countries come to the States to develop pictures. But everything is in the material, and you have to make it for yourself. And I realize, not think in terms of what will reach the rest of the world, but make it for yourself. And I think you see, I mean, look, we're seeing in South Korea, for instance, now the number of films in South Korea that are coming out. I don't know if it's happening here with Squid Game and a couple of the others. So it's hard to say for India because they're very comfortable within the distribution within their own country, not having to worry about trying to get a picture outside. The best organization in concept that we have for dealing with worldly problems and with their court and everything else, this is such a tiny planet. It's such a tiny planet. You look up into the sky in a great night, you look at the millions and billions of stars that we've yet to find anywhere else that exists. How can we not understand how precious this tiny, tiny planet is, even though there's 7.5 billion people? And I had a lecture, I remember back at the university, by a man named Buckminster Fuller. He was a writer, and he had a book called Spaceship Earth. And he thought of Earth in terms of the size of a spaceship. That's how tiny it is. And that's how we have to begin thinking about it. And we have to begin, and I think that this younger generation is going to do a better job than any of us in dealing with what is the most important issues in the world. And I see the mistakes that we've made in the United States in terms of capitalism. I love democracy, but I think that the capitalistic influence of making money is far overreached. In other words, we have such a small, and this is happening in a lot of democracies, a very small, wealthy population, and then a large class, and in the middle class, which we all hope and dream to reach, is having a rough time making ends meet, at least in our country, which is called Masterclass. So I'm very optimistic about Gen Z. And I think we're going to really need them because there's a lot of conflict out there still.